Okay, so when you say tell me about it to someone, you don't necessarily mean please tell me about it and tell me everything about it. We use it to kind of sympathize with them, to kind of say, I understand your problem and I'm going to introduce a similar story or an incident to show that I understand your pain. So you complain, it's like, oh, I've got so much work, and you might say,
tell me about it. I have piles and piles of work too, or something
exactly.
like that.
So we're kind of sharing our pain here.
Okay, so Kevin understands Adam's frustration. He tells Adam, I don't need to be at the majority of the meetings I end up going to. Okay, so what he's saying is that most of the meetings, the majority of the meetings that he goes to, actually he doesn't even need to be there.
Yeah, okay. Notice there you use the phrase end up and it's followed by the V-I-N-G, end up going to. We don't say end up go or end up went, we use going. So Adam agrees. So this is just two co-workers. They're having a good old complain about something they don't like. So very common office language.
Yeah.
Adam says, exactly, you're exactly right. You've really understood my situation. He then says, I typically spend most of the time waiting for the discussion to turn to a topic that's relevant to me. Okay, he's saying, I'm sitting there, I'm looking around, I'm falling asleep, I'm drawing a picture, because they're talking about something that's not relevant to me, so I have to wait until it is. Okay, he uses the word relevant here. Relevant means closely connected or appropriate to either what is being talked about or to a particular person, a group, an interest, a situation. So, maybe they're talking about the budget, but he's not a budget guy. He's like the computer science guy. He's like, can you just ask, maybe I can come in when you want to question me about computer stuff. If you're talking about the budget, why do I even need to be here? I have nothing to say.
Yeah, and it doesn't even really concern him either, what they talk about. Yeah, so if you're sitting in on a meeting and people are talking about things that don't concern you, you'd probably think the same way as Adam. He says, I could be getting work done in that time.
Yeah, so this is a problem, right?
So he's in a meeting, listening to something that really doesn't have anything to do with him. And in that time, he could actually use it to be working on something.
Yeah, finishing his projects, getting stuff done. So that's why he adds, no wonder I have to work overtime to finish my jobs.
Oh, no.
So because of all these meetings, he can't finish his stuff by the normal time he goes home, so he has to stay late. Okay, here he uses the phrase no wonder to introduce something. When you do that, you're saying it is not surprising that this is the situation. For example, you can use it to say that you understand something completely now, or to share that something is obvious, like, oh, no wonder, I get it now, no wonder I'm having to stay late. It's all clear.
Because of those meetings,
those lousy meetings. I have to work overtime.
Yeah. Overtime is our next word, O-V-E-R-T-I-M-E, overtime. It's an adverb. And do you guys notice the word overtime combines two words together, over and time? If you work overtime, you are working over the time or more hours than you are scheduled to work. So most people work maybe 8 hours a day, right? And if you have to stay late to finish up your work, or maybe stay another hour, 2 hours, you work 10 hours in a day, you're working overtime. In some companies, people get paid to work overtime.
They should.
And then in some other companies, you get paid, you get extra hours to take time off. So say, for example, today I worked 2 hours overtime. I can use those 2 hours in the future towards my vacation.
Go home early,
yeah.
Come in late, something like that.
Here's an example sentence. I'll have to work overtime this week to meet the deadline.
Poor Adam.
I know.
He just has to stay late. And if he's like, if I didn't go to the meeting, I could go home on time. And Kevin is still sympathizing with him. He says, I have that problem too. He has to work overtime to get all of his jobs done.
And he continues to say, what makes it worse is that the meeting never seems to stay on topic. Okay, so stay on topic is a phrase, and it means to continue to talk about the topic or the subject that is being discussed. If during our lesson I decided to talk about my dog suddenly, you know my dog, he's so cute.
Yeah, he's just a little dog.
Pat would probably tell me to stay on topic.
Yeah, we're talking about TOEIC and meetings here.
Oh, are we? You don't want to talk about my dog right now?
That would be we say the opposite of stay on topic is to go off topic. So that would be going off topic. Now here, so he's basically saying we're trying to talk about one thing and then we change. We talk about something else, and that makes the meeting difficult and we can never finish something because we keep going off topic. Now Adam, he explains his problem. Harrison's problem is that he always spends a lot of time talking, but he never gets to the point.
So Harrison is the one who's actually causing this problem.
A little bit, yeah, because he doesn't get to the point. And to get to the point means to arrive at the point of discussion or explanation of the purpose or the point of something. So if you can't get to the point, you're just talking about non-important stuff or telling everyone what they already know, and you're not getting to, okay, this is what we need to do, this is why we need to make a decision, these are our choices. You're you're not even there, you're before that, talking, okay, yeah, we know that, get to the point, get to the point.
We can say that he's beating around the bush, couldn't we?
That's a great phrase. He's beating around the bush, okay?
Okay, the bush is here and he's like beating around it.
Yeah, exactly. Or we can also use beating around the bush if someone is trying to avoid getting to the point.
Like, maybe where were you last night, Pat?
Hey, so I was watching this thing on TV.
Last night?
No, but... So I would be beating around the bush. I would be not getting to the point and answering the question.
Okay, and then Kevin says, we should think of some ways to make our meetings more meaningful and productive. 2 words I actually like.
Okay, let's explain them.
The first word, meaningful. meaningful, meaningful. If something is meaningful, it is important or useful. For example, Felicia should stop gossiping and talk about something more meaningful.
Yeah, there's no point. Gossip doesn't help anybody. It's not really that important. It's not useful.
No, it's not.
Okay. Now, the other word you like is productive. Okay. We want our meetings to be meaningful
and productive.
Productive is spelled P-R-O-D-U-C-T-I-V-E. Productive. It's related to the verb produce to make something, and product, which is something that is made. And productive means you are achieving or producing a significant amount of something or a significant result. Okay, you've made a lot of things, or you get to the end of something and you finish it. For example, the productive writer publishes 2 or 3 books a year. So he's very busy, he's writing a lot, he's getting them out there.
He's not wasting time or anything.
No, he's not spending 5 years writing 1 book like some famous writers out there. He's managing to do 2 or 3 a year.
Wow, okay. So Kevin's idea is great, but it seems like everyone would need to get together to discuss this, right? If we want to have a meaningful and productive meeting.
Yeah, if one person thinks so, but the other people aren't trying to help, you still get nothing done. It would be unproductive, or what's the opposite of meaningful? Meaningless. Okay, meaningful, like careful, careless.
Right.
Meaningful, meaningless, productive, unproductive.
Okay, so Adam says, it sounds like you want to have a meeting about meetings.
Oh, that's the worst thing. A meeting about meetings. That's just what we don't need. Kevin says, no way. I don't want to have a meeting about meetings.
Okay.
He has a better idea. He says, we can just email constructive ideas to each other.
That's true.
So the word constructive is spelled C-O-N-S-T-R-U-C-T-I-V-E, constructive, okay? And constructive means having or meaning to have a beneficial purpose and result, okay? For example, I got some constructive feedback from my teacher about my class presentation. He said, this was good, you could do this better, this will work better.
Instead of, I don't like it.
Yeah, instead of just, it's bad.
Okay, so he continues to say, Kevin, he says, once we have enough ideas for a proposal, we can take it to our managers. Proposal, P-R-O-P-O-S-A-L, proposal. A proposal is a formal plan or a suggestion that is presented to a person or a group of people to consider. So for them to consider this suggestion or this plan. Let's say a group of people would like to get maybe a karaoke machine for the office. They'd have to write a proposal to explain how this karaoke machine would benefit the company so that the boss would say, okay, you guys can get one. Here's an example sentence. The mayor approved the proposal to build a new high school.
Okay, so what Kevin and Adam are saying is we'll email each other ideas when we've got a really good list that we've agreed on. We'll take this proposal to our manager. He can read it and he'll go, okay, let's do it. Now in day 2, we'll find out what their proposal is.
Okay.
But right now it's time to go to our For You chat question.